Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Cisco's Inside Product Podcast. Today, I have with me DJ Sampath. DJ is the former CEO of Armor Blocks and actually joined us. How long has it been, DJ?
It's been 3 years.
Has it been 3 years since you've been here?
It's 3 years
That's great.
to the date.
And so DJ is now running all of Cisco's AI and platform efforts. Is someone that I spend a lot of time with. And welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here.
We're going to talk a lot about a lot of exciting things, including what's happening in AI, what's happening with Cisco Cloud Control. And so let's get started.
All right.
Let's start with what is going on in the market with AI right now that customers should keep in mind, and how is that changing infrastructure specifically in the world?
Jeetu, one of the biggest things that we need to start to internalize is the fact that we're moving from chatbots to agents. And as we move to agents, agents are starting to take actions on behalf of a user. And it's incredibly important to make sure that there's trusted delegation that's happening where these agents can go out and execute tasks entirely on your behalf. And so I think the shift that we're starting to see that's happening is with agentic coding. We're noticing that these agents are able to do things that we never thought was possible about 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. It starts out with, and there's a very common pattern, right? It starts out with these agents, when you start using even models, you kind of feel like they're not perfect at the task that they're doing. And then within 6 months, you suddenly start to realize that those things that you thought was not perfect, it now does those jobs incredibly well. And then, and then it starts to take on things that you never thought was possible. Right now, one of the most interesting things that's happening is in the frontier of science, we're starting to see these models are able to solve mathematical problems that haven't been solved for decades. Mm-hmm. And so what we're having to do right now as a team, as we start to think about these types of problems, we're having to peer a little bit into the future and sort of build for model capabilities, getting there, but making sure
Just assume that some of the challenges that are deficits right now won't be deficits for a long period of time, and assume that those are going to be solved.
Exactly.
And then, because your planning cycle is going to take longer than how quickly it's going to have these models that are kind of, recursive self-learning loops are going to go out and solve the problem.
And loop engineering has become the thing that everybody talks about right now, right? If you go back to almost about just 3 months ago, it was all about the harness, and it was really important to nail the harness, and the experience of how these models would work within the context of the harness, the access to the tools that they have, the access to this MCP servers and endpoints and so on and so forth. But very quickly that evolved to creating the right types of loops that you can, take your agentic coding to start leveraging those to drive towards an outcome. And so what's happening now, if you take a look at what software engineers are doing today, they're basically refining these loops, and they're making sure that these loops are able to take a task all the way to completion, from like a ticket being filed that says, hey, here's a specific issue that you need to go out and solve for. And then driving that from that point on to like writing, automatically writing code, testing it, pushing the updates, validating it, and then making sure that ticket gets closed at the end of it all. Now, one of the most important pieces...
If you can capture that in a way that the agent can learn how to do that, then you've got a repeatable engine in place is basically the whole point.
The exhaust from every single one of that stuff, you got to record that. And that's how you constantly keep improving those, that loop engineering in itself. And this is really the core of what we decided to do with Cloud Control.
Right.
Cloud Control.
So hang on, before you go into Cloud Control, so it seems like the speed and the exponential curve is almost becoming a vertical line. And as that happens, I want to make sure that people understand we wanted to embark on a project which was actually going to make sure that we were not operating like a holding company,
right,
but a completely integrated platform. And that integrated platform was loosely coupled with all of our assets, but tightly integrated. So you don't have to buy everything all at once from us. But boy, when you do buy two things together, they work like magic.
Right.
You actually lower the marginal cost of ingestion of every new technology that you deliver. Everything that you buy from us has compounding value on things that you might already have from us. And the value that the ecosystem benefits and garners from our platform is greater than the thing that we garner over time. So explain to people what Cisco Cloud Control is and what we've built for the market that you launched at Cisco Live just a few months ago.
You bet. I want to break it down into three things as I talk about Cisco Cloud Control. I'll start first by talking about how we unified management planes across different domains. We brought together networking, security, data center infrastructure, observability, and collaboration all together.
And compute.
Into a single pane of glass, right?
One scaffolding.
One scaffolding that allows you to log in once. You're not logging into different dashboards to be able to do these things. You don't have to constantly, they call it a swivel chair. You're swiveling from one, computer, one screen to another. There's no swivel chairs. You are basically logging into this portal. And once you're in, we've organized all of these services in three distinct categories, right? So the first one is really the platform services that allow you to see things like inventory or topology of your entire estate in a single place. Now, this includes other things like identity, includes like licensing. We built all of these platform services that are in a single place that never existed before, right? Across
So
all
this
of these
just
disparate
gives
places.
customers intelligence about their environment and how they should be thinking about and making sense of their environment over time, especially for large enterprises. This is a huge problem.
This is a huge problem, and in a post-Mythos era, this is even more paramount to have a deep understanding of exactly what kind of assets do you have, what software is running inside of each one of those, and what vulnerabilities might exist in them for you to be able to go out and reimagine it, right? So, update your operational, perspective with respect to the inventory that you have.
So DJ, how does this connect to our services side of the business? I know that we've created some tooling in the services side with Cisco IQ. How does all of this kind of come together?
That's a great question, Jeetu. So we've built this in such a way that you can use Cloud Control to be able to seamlessly access Cisco IQ with the same login, with the same sets of experiences. In fact, the data connectors exist between these two tools in such a way that when you're looking at an inventory or topology, you get information that are enriched from all of the services contracts that you have already in place. And so these two things are working hand in hand to be able to give the right types of experiences for our customers. Now, in addition to the platform services, the second thing that we introduced was the dashboards that you know and love of all of the different products that we have inside of Cisco are all accessible and available from Cloud Control. You can just click into Meraki and then you're bam inside of the Meraki dashboard. You click into Innersight, you're right there. Security Cloud Control, seamlessly you're hopping into each one of these dashboards so that, for users that have learned how to operate these dashboards over many, many years, they don't have to unlearn something. They can seamlessly just click into those things and start using them. Now, the third thing that we did was we said, hey, what if we created applications within Cloud Control that can seamlessly start stitching different products together, but ultimately drive...
And platform services, basically.
And platform services to offer, an outcome that the customers are looking for. And so that is really what we did with that third category, because a lot of times what we're seeing increasingly, especially with agents coming into your infrastructure, your personas are starting to blur, right? A networking persona needs to do security stuff. Like a security persona needs to look at observability data. And so as much as the Conway's Law has sort of remained in a lot of cases, we built teams around the styles of communication.
You ship your org chart as Conway's Law.
Yeah. Exactly, right? Yeah. You end up shipping that as Conway's Law, and that starts reflecting in the organizations that are buying based off of that as well.
Yeah.
But what we're now starting to see with agentic operations starting to become a reality is these things are starting to blur. And so it now becomes even more important to have apps that stitch across these domains. So if you are thinking about, say, a situation where you're trying to connect a campus and a data center together, which is a very common scenario.
One fabric.
Exactly. You now need a single fabric. You can now have an app that allows you to configure the networking inside of your campus and configure the network inside of your data center in a way that you are not copy pasting these across different dashboards, because that's where errors creep in. That's where configuration, mismatches.
So this just
happen.
becomes a single-click EVPN VXLAN fabric creation.
That's right.
Without any effort, no coding, no scripting.
That's
You
exactly
just
right.
natural language, give instructions, and before you know it, it understands your intent and it just creates a fabric.
Exactly. It copies all of the virtual routing, fabrics on one side. It copies the routing, table information. It starts to look at it and says, hey, wait a minute. The configs don't look quite right. Here are the changes that you need to make. Here are the VLAN tags that you need to put in place. All of that complexity is now abstracted away so that you are focusing on connecting those, to endpoints, environments, and then seamlessly running your workloads on top.
The other example I really like of your apps that you have is the agent security app.
Right.
Right, because you need to have like 5, 6 different backend services sometimes. I might need identity, I might need secure access, I might need AI defense, I might need tokenomics, I might need observability for AI, all of these things. But what you've done is you've said, I'm just building an app for it.
That's right.
And that app abstracts away all of that complexity and just creates one app that you can just say, okay, Mr. Customer, you can just go out and deploy this.
And you know what's even cooler about that? A customer may not always have all Cisco products.
That's right.
They may have, products.
You don't have to do
from
any
other
kind of
vendors.
rip and replace on any of that stuff.
You don't, and you now have the ability to integrate those apps seamlessly into those products as well. But guess what? You provide a lot more value in stitching that. So customers start to use these apps more than they're using any one of those individual piece parts.
Yeah.
And that is a game changer when you think about day 2 and day 3 operations for a lot of these folks.
Okay, so you said that you want to have a unified management plane. That's the first thing that you want to do. Single pane of glass.
That's right.
For all of Cisco's products.
That's right.
Across any domain.
That's right.
What's the second thing?
The second big thing is when you start to think about day 2 and day 3 operations.
When I say what's the second thing, what is the second thing that Cloud Control does? So this
Right.
is the first one, yeah.
Right. So the second big topic that I want to hit with Cloud Control is the way you start to operate an infrastructure like this needs to be reimagined with agents that are now in place, right? So agentic operations is what we're calling it, and I think agentic ops requires us to reframe how we think about debugging and troubleshooting.
It's the successor to AI ops.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's a better way to do this because the agents have the ability to take actions. They have a certain degree of autonomy, and they're trained to be able to do this in ways that are completely auditable and are secure. Right. So that's really the core of agentic ops. But the way we reimagined this was we introduced a capability called Canvas. And what Canvas does is it provides you with a surface that brings together generative UIs, where the UI gets generated, on the fly. It connects all of the multiple domains together, and it also unlocks multi-user and multiplayer capabilities. Because when you think about debugging and troubleshooting, it's never a single person that's cutting across the board. It's always a team that works together to be able to solve this.
But all this tooling is for single user and single persona.
That's right. So far, that's how we've trained our teams. It's sort of like back to the Conway's Law. I think we have to break that, and that's really what we're doing with Canvas. Right? We're reimagining how multiplayers, multiple folks can come in and start working and debugging and troubleshooting. It gives them a system of record. You don't have to constantly go back to like your tickets and copy paste those things. You're now starting to integrate each and every single one of that stuff using an MCP server, using agents that can do both immediate responses to like the questions that you're asking, all the way from that mode to like doing deep reasoning, where it might take maybe several hours for it to be able to go out and figure something out, but it has the long-running capability to reflect on your configuration files. Spin up a
Digital twin.
a digital twin. Yes, thank you. Spin up a digital twin and run all of the synthetics across all of your environments and start to piece. It's almost like solving a puzzle a lot of times, right? Debugging and troubleshooting. And the reasoning models have the ability to start to do that and then finally come back with a solution and then take your permission. By the way, humans are always going to be in the loop. It's going to check in with you to see, hey, can I take this action to fix all of these environments? And then boom, it just goes out and does that.
Yeah,
right?
until the human feels comfortable that they don't need to be in the loop, in which case you can actually automate that portion away.
Absolutely. You know, we always sort of think about this in terms of a scale, a linear scale, right? You start with very deterministic workflows where you can specify that, hey, I want you to do exactly this, you know, and specify that to those agents. And we have that capability. It's called workflows. That's a native application inside of Cloud Control. And it's, you can go all the way from something that's very deterministic to entirely, you know, non-deterministic, but still within certain types of guardrails where it asks the user how to go about doing certain things. To finally, that slider slides all the way to full autonomy, where when you get comfortable, you have very predictable types of actions. And this is where, back to your earlier point, we're going to consume that exhaust and then use that to be able to set up, you know, playbooks and runbooks that are customized for your environment, you know, to seamlessly execute, you know, those debugging steps.
Okay, so the first thing that Cloud Control does is the unified management plane. The second thing that you've said is we provide you with agentic troubleshooting and debugging. What's the third?
Jeetu, we've gone to a lot of customers at this point, and we've shown them, you know, both, you know, the first set of capabilities and the second one, which is, you know, the management part of it, and also the debugging and troubleshooting. And customers have been super impressed by this, right? They love the fact that we're leveraging Agentic Ops to be able to do this, but they always come back with this question that says, hey, this is great for all of the Cisco estate, but hey, I have products other than Cisco inside of my entire ecosystem. And so the third thing that we're doing here is to fundamentally open the ecosystem and make it customizable in such a way that every single one of our customer can make Cloud Control their own.
And so, participate in this entire, you know, kind of taking advantage of the platform.
Exactly. And so on day one, when we announced Cisco Cloud Control at Cisco Live, we had 50 plus partners, 52 of them signing up, where you could use those partner capabilities natively inside of the platform.
Right.
You know, these are partners all the way from like ServiceNow, where you can consume that CMDB information. You can make changes to, you know, tickets, you know, in the ITSM part of the product.
Slack, Snowflake, all of them.
A lot of them. And each and every single one of these partners sort of brings, you know, an operational integration into Cloud Control that makes it incredibly easy for you to use that ecosystem. In fact, some of them are competitors. And I think, you know, a true platform allows you to be able to
Some of them
integrate.
are our competitors, and we have allowed our competitors to get into the platform because we want to make sure that, you know, the platform is made available to everyone equally.
That's exactly right. And I think that is a very crucial point for our customers, right? And that's when a customer starts to buy into the platform capabilities, because it allows them to manage their entirety of, you know, their entire estate with a lot of ease. Now, the next thing that we discovered as we started understanding how customers are using the entire ecosystem of products was they needed these things to be customized. They needed these agents to understand exactly how their environment works. They needed these apps that we talked about to be built in a way that it solved a very specific workflow that they had in mind. And so we said, what if we actually built a studio that allows them to do this? And that's something that we also announced at Cisco Live. Right?
Build agents, basically.
Build agents and build apps,
Right.
you know, custom applications. Now, one of the things with the agents that they're able to build with the agent builder inside of the studio is you can tell an agent that I do a specific, you know, type of workflow very differently. I have a runbook for a security alert that I see that requires me to do, you know, these following 5 steps. And you can now train an agent to be able to do that. You can even fine-tune a model with the help of the agent builder, and you can run custom models inside if you have requirements of like, hey, I can't use public models. I have to use models that are running inside of my environment. I can't use frontier models. You now have the ability to pick and choose, mix and match, and build your own custom agents. It's extremely powerful.
And then all these agents can be made available in a marketplace that you also provide.
That's right.
Which is kind of like an app store.
It's like an app store.
Yeah.
Simply go there. You can install a skill. You can install an integration. One-click install, super light touch, and that's how you can have apps that you've built. You can have apps that your partners have built. You can have apps that your other, you know, vendors have built. Bring them all together over there.
So what you've basically done is you've said, okay, I'm going to provide this common scaffolding across all the technologies. So there's a unified management plane. that can also do agentic troubleshooting and debugging. And I'm going to open this up to the third-party ecosystem so that they can build agents, they can build apps, they can actually host it in the marketplace, and we'll have it all in this one platform.
That's right.
And there's a plethora of different applications that you can think about building that'll use multiple of our services, maybe third-party services. And when you have those applications that are built, it'll actually take away any of the seams on the integration. So it'll look like one cohesive use case that you deliver to the customer.
That's exactly right. In fact, at Cisco Live, we had Hasmukh stand up on stage.
Yeah, CIO of AMD.
CIO of AMD.
Yeah.
And AMD is one of the more forward-leaning organizations when it comes to deploying these types of technologies. We were working with them to be able to get a very interesting app built for tokenomics. Now, tokenomics is top of mind for a lot of folks, right?
Yeah.
It's like they care about how many tokens are we spending at the end of the day. And with the help of our Splunk data platform and the capabilities.
We already have an app in the market now.
That's right. And we took that and we combined it with this particular app. And this made a huge difference for Hasmukh, right? He was able to now suddenly start to get visibility into exactly how tokens are being consumed inside of his enterprise. If there's an agent that's running rogue and it's using up your entire token budget for the whole month in a single day, you now have the ability to see it and then kill that agent and say, hey, I'm going to put this agent in purgatory to be able to go out and make this better. You now have all of those tools available from a single platform. So that's the power of those applications. We're able to build those apps really quickly and get it out into the hands of our customers and then help them solve a very meaningful pain that they're facing today.
So DJ, how should a customer think about this? I know that this is going to be, G8 in August. It's currently in control availability.
That's right.
In the US. It's going to be G8 in August in the US.
In the US.
And then for the rest of the world, we're going to have controlled availability thereafter. How should customers think about deploying this? What's your advice to them?
I think one of the top things that we're working with customers that have been onboarded already onto Cloud Control is to be able to reimagine this model. A lot of times the networking persona just looks at the network side of the house. The security persona just looks at the security side of the house. What has been really interesting is educating the customers to say, listen, you still have your role-based access controls to manage exactly who sees what, but you now have a new way of being able to debug and troubleshoot your entire infrastructure. And it's causing customers to be able to reset what they normally, their regular playbooks and runbooks that they've had, it's causing them to reset that. And they go, wait, this means I can now start to rely on Cloud Control to do things that I normally could not do before. Normally it required me to have, specific person sitting down, generating those reports, or, having people manually go out and make those changes to those configuration. You don't need that anymore. We've now got ambient agents that alert a person at the exact right time about something when they need to jump in and look at it. We've got, cron jobs that you can schedule to automatically go out and look at your entire infrastructure and generate these reports, using generative AI. So I think what's happening is people are recognizing that we've created, especially our customers are basically saying, hey, you've created a new category over here, what we're calling agentic ops. And Cloud Control is a manifestation of agentic ops in a way that it's causing our customers to say, this is really interesting, and I'm going to, reimagine this model internally.
And by the way, the thing that we have fundamentally shifted is historically Cisco is a very kind of siloed company, and each business unit would work by themselves and not really have that much connective tissue between them. What we've now been able to do is every business unit and every product line, I should say, because we are even dissolving this concept of business units, but
That's
every
right.
product line basically is building capabilities and features for Cloud Control. And over time, in the next few months, that'll be the only way that people will access all of our capability. Common design language, common look and feel, common way of behaving as an application, common set of platform services. And so that's a fantastic kind of step forward that we've taken. What do you think a customer should do today? What you're painting as a picture sounds pretty seductive. I'm a customer. I've invested in a lot of Cisco technology. What can I do today, and what can I get today?
You can get your hands on Cloud Control today. We're starting with U.S. Geo. If you're a North American customer today, you can get your hands on Cloud Control. You can start connecting your networking, your security, your data center, your compute infrastructure, all of that stuff, systematically.
Splunk.
And Splunk observability. You can connect
WebEx,
them. Collaboration, all your control hub, can be seamlessly connected into Cloud Control. So take all of those, different assets, start to connect them into Cloud Control and start experiencing it from a single dashboard. You can start using AI Canvas today to be able to start debugging and troubleshooting things across all of your entirety of your estates. And you can start seeing all of these agents, these ambient agents, generate alerts and actions in a single place. So you're not chasing each one of these things in separate places. You have an AI assistant that's seamlessly connected across every single one of your product that brings all of these alerts in a single place.
And my hope is that every infrastructure company that is Series A funded or even seed funded starts to think about Cloud Control as a platform that they can integrate with. Because what we will do is we will make sure that we can even supercharge the startup ecosystem. Because
that's the whole point of the marketplace, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're gonna leverage Cisco as a mechanism of being able to get to enterprises,
Right.
and ultimately just increase the value that a customer gets from using the platform.
Right. Well, anything that you think I should have asked that I didn't that you want to convey to the customers?
I think design has been a very important piece of
Such
how
a
we
good point.
brought this together. When you look at the thoughtfulness that's gone into making this an amazing experience for our customers, whether it is the generative UI that brings those widgets together. If you've used Figma or Canva,
Actually, I don't know if you know this, but I was at Figma Config recently, and I actually showed a video of Cloud Control.
oh, cool.
And I was doing a fireside chat with Dylan, and I think the audience just ate it up. So
So that's the point. I think even some of the best designers, when they look at what we have done here, you can see that reaction of awe. Like they look at that and they go, "Oh wow, this is Cisco." We've this whole notion that we're a legacy company is absolutely incorrect. And when people start to
it's a very legacy thought that we're a legacy company.
I love that. It's very meta. What we've done here is we have completely changed that perception. A lot of people that look at this, they feel like, wait a minute, the only companies that are building products like these right now are the AI companies, the frontier model companies. We're building models and we're open sourcing these models. We are building models ourselves. We're building experiences on top of those models that unlock value that is really hard to unlock, in a specific sets of domains.
Some of these UIs are generative UIs, so they're automatically actually creating themselves on the fly.
That's right. And so when you start to play around with this, you can move things around, it's very intuitive. It starts out with something that everybody's deeply familiar. If you've used ChatGPT or Claude, it looks very familiar, but then there's a nuance to reducing the complexity of managing a large infrastructure, simplifying that using a combination of all of these things. I think we've done a remarkable job on the design aspects, and I think customers are seeing that and they're loving it.
Well, congratulations to you and the team, and actually to every product team that contributed to this, because that's the one thing that I don't want to have lost is every single product team contributed to making sure that Cloud Control is what you are. You folks build the scaffolding, but then everyone then provided contributions to that, and that's what makes a platform. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Every single product team. We've also had a massive amount of success in getting the field teams excited.
The SEs are starting to build their own apps.
They're building their own apps. They're building experiences on Canvas that we never knew that that even existed. That was the moment.
Customers are building their own apps right away.
That's right. So it's really interesting to start to see that. That's you're back to your definition of a platform.
Yeah.
Is when people start using the platform in ways that you didn't even anticipate.
That's right.
That's when you've hit the sweet spot with respect to a platform. And so that's what I'm truly excited about.
Well, you should be. Thank you for all the hard work. And I know that we're just getting started. It's still, very early days. But I have to say that I couldn't be more proud of you and the team and what we've been able to deliver. And let's make sure that we keep delighting customers. And this is the very beginning of something great to keep coming.
Yes. Go Cloud Control.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks, DJ.
Cool. Thank you.